Taiwan, I'm Sandy Chi with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. It's day 4 of the Hanguang military exercises, and there's action across the country. In the north, troops rehearsed placing obstacles in the Danshui River to stop an enemy invasion. The river flows right through Taipei, making it a possible landing point in a real Chinese attack. And in central Taiwan, the military brought out new HIMARS rocket systems. These US-made launchers are easily movable, and they can even hit Chinese ports across the Taiwan Strait. The deployment is meant as a strong signal that Taiwan is determined to defend itself. Prosecutors in Keelung have charged 7 people with forging signatures on petitions to recall 2 city councillors for the Democratic Progressive Party. They say the 7 had a scheme to copy the personal information of over 1,000 people from party rolls without their knowledge or consent. The goal was to forge their signatures to reach the threshold needed for a recall vote. Among the accused is a former city official who is suspected of accessing the household registration system for personal details. Taiwan's politics is locked in a partisan recall battle, with ruling and opposition parties trying to unseat each other's lawmakers. The number of other officials have already been indicted on similar forgery charges. Lawmakers have passed a special budget to help Taiwan weather predicted U.S. tariffs. But while all parties agree on the need to act, there's a strong divide over whether this budget does what it should. John Van Triest reports.
赞成者多数第3条，照国民党党团再修正动议条文通过。
It's taken a few months to get here, but Taiwan now has a final plan to weather U.S. tariffs. The legislature, with Speaker Han Kuo-yu presiding, has passed a special budget with a ceiling of $18.6 billion to keep the country ticking. But while all 3 major parties backed the idea of tariff relief, each had its own vision, and not everyone got what they wanted. Premier Zhou Rongtai is one of the disappointed ones. Despite pleas, this budget did not include a key plank his ruling Democratic Progressive Party envisioned, around $3 billion to prop up Taiwan's loss-making state power company. Instead, the budget includes an item his party had fought to block, a cash handout of around $340 for everyone in the country. The DPP worries this will raise debt and cause inflation. And the party views the budget that did pass, the opposition Kuomintang version, with cynical suspicion. In their view, this is an attempt to buy off voters just weeks ahead of a sweeping recall vote that could decimate the Kuomintang caucus and see the majority in the legislature change hands.
用发钱来救罢免，而且是用借钱来救罢免，这样子的侵害财政纪律，这样的破坏宪法的原则。
But the 2 opposition parties are content, even if they had different ideas about just how much cash to give out per person. The smaller Taiwan People's Party feels this budget's about doing right by taxpayers.
在去年2024年，超征的金额高达了5283亿。台湾民众党立法院党团，事实上在高关税的这个政策出来以前，我们就力主必须要还财于民。
But there is still a chance for some compromise, at least where funding the state power company is concerned. The Kuomintang says it wants to deal with that issue separately.
我们要求必须左荣泰院长到立法院来，针对台电拨补是否能够不涨电价，以及国家的能源政策是不是要做一个全面的检讨，之后才能用纳税人的血汗钱来决定该如何使用。
With the budget passed, now all sides will be waiting to see just how big a U.S. tariff Taiwan may face, and whether this $18 billion will be enough to keep Taiwan's businesses and public afloat. Andy Xue and John Van Triest for TaiwanPlus.
Czech President Petr Pavel has brought Taiwan's contributions to Ukrainian civilians into the spotlight at an EU conference on Ukraine. Pavel told other European leaders that Czech-Taiwanese projects in Ukraine are a model for the world. Taiwan and the Czech Republic have helped tens of thousands of Ukrainians get access to clean drinking water and heating, including after Russian attacks on infrastructure. The Czech envoy for the reconstruction of Ukraine says the war there is important for both Europe and East Asia. He says China is behind Russia's strength and is learning lessons that could help an invasion of Taiwan.
The Chinese military is getting a lot of information and inspiration from the Russian aggressors in Ukraine. They are learning what to do, what not to do. They are learning the tactics, but also the strategies, how to communicate publicly, diplomatically, how to organize and orchestrate the military campaigns. And they get a lot of lessons learned.
The envoy also highlighted Taiwan's sophistication in drones and joint Czech-Taiwanese efforts to build them. The United Nations Human Rights Office says close to 800 people have been killed seeking aid in Gaza, where Israeli forces have repeatedly fired on Palestinians at food distribution points.
We've raised concerns about atrocity crimes having been committed and the risk of further atrocity crimes being committed. Where people are lining up for essential supplies, such as food and medicine, and where they are being attacked, where, again, as my colleagues have said, they have a choice between being shot or being fed. This is unacceptable, and it's continuing.
The UN office says most of the killings happened near aid points set up by the US and Israel-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, which bypasses a UN-led aid system. The foundation disputes the accusation that killings happened near its sites. But the UN says the US and Israeli plan is, quote, inherently unsafe and violates rules of humanitarian impartiality. The UN says almost 5,000 people have been killed in Haiti since last October as gang violence sweeps the Caribbean country. Haiti has struggled to maintain order since the 2021 assassination of President Jovenel Moïse. The capital, Port-au-Prince in particular, has seen a surge of violence, shutting hospitals and worsening the country's humanitarian crisis. Haiti is one of the 12 countries that recognize Taiwan, and Taiwan's embassy in the country has not escaped the turmoil. A group of armed men broke in early on the crisis in 2021. As the violence has grown, gangs have overwhelmed city security forces, forced aid groups to cut back their work, and displaced tens of thousands of people. A preliminary report says a fuel supply cut caused the deadly Air India crash last month that killed 260 people in the city of Ahmedabad. India's Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau said the engines of the Boeing 787 Dreamliner were deprived of fuel after control switches in the cockpit were turned off. Air India acknowledged the report and said it was cooperating with Indian authorities. Taiwan's top gymnasts are gearing up for the 2025 World University Games in Germany this month. I went to meet up with the athletes in training. Showcasing balance, strength, flexibility, and endurance, Taiwan's top artistic gymnasts are gearing up for the World University Games, the biggest multi-sport event for university students, formerly known as the Universiade. The Games get underway on July 16 and will be held in several cities in Germany. This year, a total of 10 gymnasts, 5 men and 5 women, are representing the country in artistic gymnastics under the name Chinese Taipei.
因为这次男子队的组成是比较新的，就是一些比较新的选手，所以我们就是注重在他的临场表现。 所以做一个模拟的比赛测验，让它比较能稳定。那女子方面，各自的训练上状态都还可以。
One member of the team is 21-year-old Tonya Paulson, born in Sweden and known locally by her Chinese name, Chen Ruian. She just officially joined Taiwan's national team earlier this year, having previously competed for the country of her birth.
I've competed for the Swedish national team since I was 12 years old, so for a very long time, and we've had some problems in the federation, and also my mom is from Taiwan. She's 100% Taiwanese, so I would just feel very proud to represent her country and my heritage.
The addition of Paulson is seen as a valuable asset for the team, helping younger athletes to grow and learn from her experience, especially Liao Yichun, who just graduated from senior high school and is competing in the World University Games for the first time.
他在练习比赛方面，就是他的爆发力非常的强，然后动作的难度也非常高。就是有一些是我也正在练习的动作，但是跟他做起来是像是2个动作一样，差很多。对，就希望可以再多去跟他学习。
Now, with fresh faces on Taiwan's artistic gymnastics team, The country hopes to bag its first women's artistic gymnastics medal at the World University Games, when this year's edition kicks off in Germany in the coming week. Chrisma Ansanichi for TaiwanPlus. Young Taiwanese Hakka farmers and culinary talent from northern Taiwan are teaming up to promote sorghum and other local produce. By getting creative, they're hoping to get by as climate change worsens. Irene Lin has the story.
These tiny brown seeds mixed with white rice are sorghum, a grain that's become popular in rice farms in northern Taiwan. Growing sorghum requires a quarter to a third of the amount of water as rice. With climate change depleting water reservoirs and Taiwan's population and tech industry increasing demand, there's been a public push to grow more sorghum in recent years. But farmers like Liu Zhenyu in Hsinchu County say it hasn't been an easy shift.
北部的田区都是黏土，但是我们翻好土，只要一场大雨来了，完蛋了，就是黏土吸了水，在10天又不干了，就变烂泥巴，又没办法种。
The challenge doesn't end at planting. Sorghum has a tough husk and takes a long time to cook. That's why it's most commonly distilled into gaoliang liquor. But not everyone can produce or sell alcohol, as Liu's wife Xu Yushan explains.
因为我们不能在网络上 po， 也不能去行销，然后也不能去做任何的宣传，连 FB、IG 什么都不行，因为它有一个那个酒的规范在这样子，对，然后就看，原来它还是个五谷杂粮类，所以就因为这样子就继续往它是五谷杂粮类这个部分去做研发。
Looking to explore other ways of incorporating sorghum into people's daily lives, Xu Yushan used her baking talent, mixing sorghum and regular wheat flour to make delicious bread. She has also partnered with a Hakka chef to add it to traditional dishes.
当初的开发的想法就比较简单，就是我们在小时候在家里的时候吃那个猪油拌饭，就是想念阿嬷的一种味道。里面就是加了一些我们在地的小农的杏鲍菇，到玉米笋、蒜啊，还有油葱。油葱是客家地方的当重要的东西啊。
Xu has also helped promote other produce grown by Hakka farmers. These mandarin oranges are used to make the jam spread on the sorghum bread.
它味道很像柳丁。
对，它盖人家一打开也是像柳丁一样，而且非常多汁。
Farmer Yang Zongfan has been working on improving the soil for mandarin trees since he took over his family's orchard. But typhoons and unpredictable weather often affect harvests. By working with Xu, he says their jam has created new markets for the less popular fruit.
就发现加工品是无限的想象，还有无限的创造，这样觉得很开心。就刚回来就觉得很像单打独斗，然后后来认识玉山，还有几个青农，大家一起合作，我觉得大家一起走下去可以走得更远。对，这样合作模式我觉得很棒。
It's unclear what the future holds for sorghum and these local farmers, but Xu says she hopes her produce can teach more people about this crop.
至少我往前走，看让大家认识高粱，其实它是一个五谷杂粮，然后让大家可以愿意吃它。其实它是我们一个政策之下的一个节水作物，也让大家知道说气候变迁其实当我们没有水的时候，我们当粮食自给自足缺少的时候，其实我们还是必须要供应我们自己基本的，对，所以这件事情会一直往前走。其实有一部分的理念是在这里。
In the face of climatic and economic changes, these Hakka farmers are steering through the challenges, lifting each other up along the way and staying true to the image as a hardy and resourceful people. Kuang and Irene Lin for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we head to Paris, where the sails of the iconic Moulin Rouge windmill are turning again, over a year after they fell off. I'm Sanichi. Take care and see you next time.